I had to work so hard. I wasn't like naturally talented. I was like a chubby boy. I couldn't breathe, can't see nothing. So it just my personality type was to just keep coming back no matter what. No matter how much I got thrown, no matter how bad it went, just keep showing up. I got thrown around, I got pinned, I got embarrassed, I got pushed, and the dude made me roll around like a bait, and all he did was push me. When you're a grown man, you think like this certain thing of yourself, and then you go to a jiu-jitsu tournament, and this dude like chokes you out or something, and I'm losing my mind in the corner.
Hey, what's up, folks? Thank you for tuning into another episode of Rex Wu talking about random things inside of his car. As you guys can see, I'm not currently in my car right now. But however, if you are watching this video, it is because you are on a path of positive growth, and I'm here to help you along that journey. And part of that journey is I'm starting a brand new series, guys. What this series is going to be doing is I'm going to be finding people who operate at high levels, people who are doing really cool and amazing things. And I'm just going to be, just picking at their brains a little bit, see what makes them tick, see what it is that allows them to do what they're able to do. And then, hopefully we can all learn and grow from that and pursue growth and positivity together and see about making this world a better place. And with that said, my very, very first guest ever on this show is going to be a man who's been very, very influential in my life since I moved down to Tampa Bay, Florida. He is a high-level martial artist. He's been wrestling since he was in high school. He is a purple belt, which if you know anything about purple belts, they're pretty much deadly weapons at that point. But not only is he a high-level martial artist, but he has built in his own house his own personal reptile zoo with over several dozen different reptiles, and he takes care of them and he loves them. He's got his own YouTube channel. So guys, I just want to introduce the wonderful, the awesome, the one and only Hurrican Mando. So as we discussed, Armando is a very, very high level martial artist. You've been wrestling since freshman year of high school, right? Mm-hmm. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you won the title for like the most promising up and coming freshman, right?
Oh yeah, I was freshman of the year.
So tell me a little bit about that journey from like when you first, like what got you into wrestling, and what are the things that you did that allowed you to get that award? Because only like one person in like the entire group can get that award. Yeah. It's not something they can to everyone.
So it was funny. I got into wrestling specifically because I wanted to do MMA, so I figured I would learn some wrestling while I was in high school because it was free, and then I would start doing jiu-jitsu and MMA when I could. So that's kind of why I started. And I was horrible. I lost 21 matches in a row before I won my first one. But I won when it counted. I won at the district tournament, last tournament of the year. I placed 4th place, and I qualified for regionals, so it's pretty cool.
Oh wow! So you lost 21 matches in a row?
Oh yeah, every single match until like districts. I won like a JV match the week before that, and that was cool. But like my first varsity match, I won the week of districts at districts.
Okay, so 21 matches in a row. I know a lot of people who would just get defeated after 5 in a row, and they just gave up after life. Like, how did you find the grit to just continue and continuously improve? Like most people, they just, after one loss, they toss in the towel. You took 21 in a row.
It was just so fun to me, and I always could convince myself that like I had a chance somehow. And so I would just keep on working and keep learning. And yeah, it was always important to me to have like a coach that cared. My wrestling coach cared a lot, so that meant a lot. He put in a lot of work and took me to do a lot of things. So he made us wrestle the tough matches. As much as we didn't want to, we'd have to go against like the best teams. Brandon High School was like one of the best teams in Florida. He'd make us go like one-on-one against them and stuff like that. And they'd kick your butt, but it'd make you fight. It'd make you fight hard, and then you go against other people and you do pretty good. So just staying active and coming back at it, man. Mm-hmm. Being frustrated and determined.
And then tell me about the rest of your high school career. Like, did you continue to take like 21 L's in a row and then win at the end again, or like?
No. So my sophomore year, let's see, how did that go? My sophomore year, I ended up hurting my elbow, unfortunately. I was like 4-5. I was okay. I had a good start to the year. At least I won 4. And then I was wrestling this one match, and the guy went to throw me, and I went to like kind of catch myself, and I dislocated my elbow, and like this was like spinning around like a pinwheel. This part, yeah. So yeah, it was pretty gross. And so that's how that went. And I tried to come back for districts, but they didn't let me. And then my junior year, I was insane, and I tried to cut down to like 132 pounds. No, and I ended up passing out, so I missed a lot of the year.
What were you before the 132 pounds?
Probably like I don't remember that far back. Maybe like 150 or so.
Wow, that's a lot of weight to cut at once.
Yeah, so I was trying to lose all this weight. Maybe not that. Maybe 145, 150. It's hard to remember that far back. But yeah, so I was losing all that weight, and I passed out in the shower, and then I had to miss some of the season for that. And so I ended up like 17-9, which is pretty decent. And then high school things happened, and so my senior year, I was 46-8, and that was pretty cool. I beat some good guys and everything, and I was team captain and all that, so that was pretty fun. And then I wrestled 1 year in college, so that was cool too.
Okay. So tell me, when did you start doing jiu-jitsu then?
So I started jiu-jitsu. I got hurt wrestling in college. I tore my MCL, so I did that, and that sucked. And oops, sorry. And so I didn't do anything for like a year, and I got like pretty fat. And then, but I was still trying to lift weights, but I was still fat. And then I started jiu-jitsu. I was like 19, because I went to college right out of high school, and then didn't do anything for a year. So yeah, okay. 19, right about to turn 20.
Gotcha. So, all right. So one of the rules they have in the jiu-jitsu world is if you have a wrestling background, they immediately toss you in with like the purple belts, right? like you don't go through the learning stages of the white belts and then the blue belts and then the whole stripe process. So I imagine that going from one sport to another, although they are both grappling, but they're still very different sports of grappling. Mm-hmm. Like, how was that transition going from never being put on your back unless you had to being comfortable on your back and all the different transitions and that learning process?
So it was interesting. Like I said, I started wrestling with the interest of being an MMA fighter when I got older. So with that being said, I like always watched MMA and all those things. So when I started, I kind of felt like I knew what was going on, even though I hadn't done jiu-jitsu yet. And so I went in there like throwing triangles at people and doing different things. But the point is, I would get triangled a lot. I would get triangled a lot. That's the main idea. I'd get choked a lot. And the first place I went to for like a couple weeks, they went extra hard. Like it wasn't a normal white belt experience where they're trying to teach you stuff. It was like, you wrestled in college. Like it wasn't just you wrestled in high school. Like, oh, okay. So then they throw the gi at you and they're like, all right, let's go. And then I was getting strangled. I was throwing up every roll because they were choking me out so much. And then I would get to fighting, and then they'd be like, oh, you're picking me up off the ground and stuff. So that was hard it was hard to find the balance of like, you're strangling the heck out of me, but then if I like go to pick you up or something, you're gonna freak out on me. So what do I do?
So it sounds like during that transition, you got squished a lot. Pretty much another round of taking 21 losses in a row.
It was back and forth. It was like upper belts would like make a point to be like, I'm better than you. Mm-hmm. And then if I did get the better of them, they'd be like, now I'm gonna kill you. And then like lower belts, like I'd be like, trying to get after them and stuff, which I guess that's normal for white belts, but being that I was a wrestler, I had that kind of advantage. And then I always loved when other wrestlers would come in, because then we could kind of go at it. But yeah, it was tough. But as far as competition though, like you said, they would make us do like advanced for the most part and stuff, and that would be like purple, brown, and black belts. So like I might get the takedown real fast, but I'd get heel hooked right after that or something like that. Mm-hmm. So yes, that was rough.
Man, so like, how do you find? So where does like this constant drive come from? Like it's like again, it's just a lot of people like they face adversity, they face difficulty. You came from 21 losses in a row to a broken pretty much a broken elbow, and then more injuries throughout. And then when you transition sports, you just got like steamrolled. It sounds like but you still didn't give up. Like, where does this drive come from? Like, where does like how do you keep on going?
I wish I had a straightforward answer for that, other than I was always the little kid that like I'd pick a fight and these kids would be beating me up and I wouldn't quit. I'm like, so they'd be throwing me around, I'm just still crying and just going.
Oh man,
that little kid didn't quit. I still didn't quit.
So it started from when you were young then.
Forever. I've just been that way. Like, I used to look out for people and I don't know, I've always been that way.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And now you're a coach at 2 different schools, right? At what schools are those?
South Tampa Jiu Jitsu and MMA and Tampa Muay Thai.
Awesome. So how long have you been a coach for? How long have you been teaching?
So I really started coaching wrestling my senior year of high school. I started coaching at a wrestling club called Wrestle Nation, and I was teaching like little kids 4 or 5 years old that had never wrestled before. So that was my first exposure to coaching. And then as far as coaching at South Tampa Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, I've been doing that going on 4 years, it has to be. I started off teaching wrestling, and then eventually I got like some kids classes, and then I got the Tampa Muay Thai classes, and it's just growing from there.
How much of like what you've been through, like on the mat, as far as like all that grit that you seem to have, like how much of that like comes through, and like how does that affect your coaching style and teaching style?
Okay.
Because I've been a teacher before, and it's tremendous patience.
Okay, I see. So yeah, it is tough because so I have to like, one thing that I at least I feel like I'm kind of decent at is trying to at least have like empathy for who I'm talking to. But I definitely had to learn that. In the beginning, I was kind of like, I had to work so hard. I wasn't like naturally talented. I was like a chubby boy. I couldn't breathe, can't see nothing. So I had to work so hard to get any type of like talent. So like when I have like a brand new person, especially an adult, where they're like, they think they'll never be able to do it or something, and it drives me insane because you know the typical like questions where it's like, how do I get better at this? How do I get better at that? Like I just had to get used to certain things like that, because I guess just because my personality type was to just keep coming back no matter what, no matter how much I got thrown, no matter how bad it went, just keep showing up. Like, I never had those questions, so like that was a learning process. But after, it took me just a little while to learn, and then I've been doing it a while now, so like I feel I can relate to most people that come in, and a lot of times people will feel like maybe it's not for them, and they're like asking me these questions, and I convince them like, just keep coming, keep doing it, and then eventually they get it and they become like pretty decent, you know. It's just keeping up that work ethic. And because I wasn't super good in the beginning, like you said, I took those butt whoopings. There's no other way to put it. I got thrown around, I got pinned, I got embarrassed, I got pushed, and the dude made me roll around like a bait, and all he did was push me. All that stuff happened to me. So, you know, I went through those things, and then I just stuck with it now. And so having those experiences, it gives me the ability to relate sometimes. Because at least for me, it happened in high school, when at least like, I mean, you're still sensitive, but when you're a grown man, you think like this certain thing of yourself, and then you go to a jiu-jitsu tournament and this dude like chokes you out or something, and I'm losing my mind in the corner, and then you might feel some type of way and you're upset, but like, you know, you got to just keep on coming back and things like that. So
you've been in this game for a while. You've seen a lot of people come and go. What do you think is like the thing that separates the people who stick around versus the ones who try and like they give up after like a month or so?
I think
loaded question, I know.
Yeah. But
but it's an important one.
Some people, I mean, the easy one. I'll start the easy one. Is some people just they can't accept, having another person toy with them like that. And that's another thing that also ties to what you asked me about what I've been through and to how I teach now. Like now I'm kind of not as afraid to let the gas go a little bit on the people I'm teaching. I'll kind of spin them around, rough them up a little bit. Because what I used to do is I would just play safe the whole time and I just play around. And then guys would feel offended. They're like, oh, why you take it so easy on me? And then you roll with whoever like that. And then I was like confused. I'm like, I'm trying to help you learn. But then I realized like, just some people just as a man, they don't like that. They don't like feeling like someone's just taking it easy with them. So then I got to toss them around and put them in side control and not let them out. And then it makes them want to learn more.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's like different people, you gotta go about it different ways. Some people, like, you run around different personalities. Some people, I know I went back to your last question, I'm sorry. Some people even, like, I don't know. You just gotta, like, some people you gotta help them along. Some people you gotta bring them back down. Like, I know for myself, in the beginning, that's what people were doing to me. Like, I was relying so heavily on wrestling. They were trying to tie me down, bring me back down, put me on my back and things like that, and make me have to learn something else. So sometimes you gotta do that with people.
Thank you for sharing all that. I'm sure we can go on for like another hour on this topic. But we gotta check out the animals.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Have
some
fun.
So before we check them out, just tell me about like what made you start a zoo? And like that's a story I want to hear.
All right. If you've ever seen, for you and for everyone watching, if you've ever seen, what is this, Spy Kids? I can't remember which one right now off the top of my head on the spot, but Spy Kids, when the guy shows them that little zoo thing, it's like the little shrunken down zoo and the little animals coming out. I was obsessed with that as a little kid, and I felt like that'd be the coolest thing to have. And all the time as a kid, I would talk about I was gonna have my own zoo in my house, like my own mini zoo, always. And of course, I got made fun of for that. Of course, understandably. But it happened. They're not exactly mini, but they're here.
So I'm definitely sensing a pattern here. Yeah. You set your mind to something. People crush it down, whether physically or mentally, and you just put on your I don't give a fuck face and just move forward with it because
more or less
you don't because I mean I would guess that you don't care what other people say.
I try not to, man.
It's just words, right?
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, they're not living your life. All right, so before we check out these animals, I've got normally I have two questions, but because it's you, I'm gonna add a third one.
Okay.
The first question is, what advice would you have to people who are what advice would you have to people who are entering into the martial arts world for the first time and don't have any experience, but they're curious because they watched GSP KO somebody with the back of his heel?
Yeah. It definitely, it's gonna take some dedication and keep on coming in. And when you first get there, like, it's intimidating as well. I understand that. There's like all different things going on. People kicking the bag real loud. They're screaming. You don't know what they're saying. It sounds like they're saying something, but you don't understand it. And there's a lot going on. It can be overwhelming, especially like someone like me. I'm a shy person. I'm really shy. So, I know that can be overwhelming, but you'll find your friend. It's always easier if you have a friend too. If you have a friend that joins with you, it's so much easier. You can learn it together, drill together, or just make friends. Like, that's one thing that's nice about our group is you guys all are kind of learning together, and each of you are friends, and you all drill with each other, and you're all learning together. You all help each other learn. So that's a really nice thing. And I feel like if you go to a gym and like you feel like, this is one thing that's important to me because of, like I said, with my first experience, if you feel like it's not right, like it might not be right, don't sit there getting abused because you think that's how it is, you know. You think, oh, it's martial arts, it's tough. Nah, we got to take care of you, and we got to teach you and build you up, so then we can have a good training partner later on. So make sure you find that wherever you go.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. What is the second to last question? What is the type of impact that you would like to have on the world?
Rex trying to make me cry. I just, you know, doing what I do, man. Getting people inspired in martial arts and helping see them grow that way, because it just the difference it makes in their personality, especially when I'm teaching the kids and the parents come in and they're telling me thank you for the differences they've seen in their child and things like that. It touches me, because myself as a kid, I was weak. I got bullied, I got picked on, and I acted out, and I tried to be a bully back myself, and I did all the negative things. And so now, like, being able to give that positivity to the kids is something awesome, because wrestling really changed my life. It changed my outlook on things, and it helped me stop getting into as much trouble. So definitely I want to do that. And animals too is fun. Like, it's therapy as well, like hanging out with the animals. It's fun, and it's something that I always wanted my whole life, and I kind of missed out on just because of, I don't know, my mom didn't like snakes and things like that, so I couldn't have snakes, and just, different things like that. My mom was uncomfortable with reptiles, so I kind of like teaching about the reptiles too, for like kids and for the parents as well, because I get parents that come to me and they're like, oh, thanks, now my kid watches your channel and they want this and they want that, and I'm like, oh, well, let me teach you about this, let me teach you about that, maybe tell them about this, it's not that bad. And I try to help so that like other kids can get into it a little bit younger and stuff like that and enjoy that.
That's beautiful, man. And final question, where can people find out more about you?
So first of all, Armandos Exotic Zoo on YouTube. That's where you can see all my videos. But I have another one, Hurrican Mando, is where I do my jiu-jitsu stuff. But Instagram, I'm more active on Instagram. But I'm trying to build that jiu-jitsu channel for YouTube as well, for Hurrican Mando, because everybody likes to come in and like, it's real stressful when you're a coach and people come in like, how can I learn more? YouTube this, YouTube that. So what I want to do is I want to use my YouTube channel as a resource for like you guys to train with me, to kind of reinforce what I'm showing you guys, and then also just like focus on like basic like jiu-jitsu. So not like we're gonna do this crazy squirrel guard and all that. You know what I'm saying, bro? I'm not trying to, confuse people and piss off their instructors. I want to show just basic jiu-jitsu where people can go to something and learn some basics.
All right, guys, so Hurrican Mando, my coach, jiu-jitsu man, as you can see that on the path to success, on the path of chasing excellence, you're going to take a lot of L's, you're going to get your arm broken, but the important thing is you just got to keep showing up, put in that work every single day, whatever it is you got to do, just do it, man. I'm gonna do it. Awkward. Thank you, brother. No, he's gonna choke me out.
His name's Littlefoot.
Littlefoot, like Land Before Time?
Yeah. Everybody that has reptiles has a Littlefoot. Yep. This is his favorite, canned grasshoppers. Buddy, this is Rex. He might be a little shy because he doesn't know you, or he might not care because he wants food. Apparently he don't care. Littlefoot. Hey, buddy. Alright, buddy. See you later. But he's a good boy. Like, he knows. Like, see, he knows I'm not food. Yeah, see, he knows.
Oh, he wants to be friends.
Alright, buddy. See you later. You want to see something cool? These are some of my favorite tortoises. Look at these things. They're ridiculous. These are pancake tortoises. They don't get that big. They don't get much bigger than this one here. They're from like Tanzania, stuff like that, Africa over there. Tanzania though is like particularly, they're from like a small region. And it's pretty crazy, like it's weird. Like at one point they must have been so like overrun that like nature like slowed down their reproductive system because they're from a tiny region and they only have like one egg like per year.
Oh wow.
So like
that's turtles. They normally lay like 100,000 eggs at the time.
Ones, yeah, but like they have such a unique like defense system. Like you saw how they were in there.
Yeah.
They'll take off running and they'll get in a tight crevice, and their shell is flexible. You kind of see that, and they'll take a deep breath and puff up and wedge themselves in there.
Oh wow.
So whatever's trying to eat them can't get them.
So these are escape artists.
Yeah, they're strong and fast, bro. They're just the pattern. I've had them for so long. Maple has like more, in my opinion, I like the more pattern like this. Ashley likes the more pattern like this. Yeah, see like the striations. Ashley likes like the thicker, more like caramel type colors, and I like the more striations like that. They're both nice, very beautiful. This was our first one. This is our second one. They're supposed to both be girls, or one boy, one girl. But so far, it looks like two boys, because see how their tail's big and goes to the side? That's to hold their hemipenes.
I'm not sure I like the way you said that.
That's my favorite way to say it. Gage, what's up, dog? I see you running around looking for food.
Is he named after Luke?
Yes, because he's a Burmese black mountain tortoise.
I've seen this guy before.
I love him. He's incredible. Look at his beak, like since you're actually here in person, look at his beak, bro. Their beak is made for tearing meat off of bone. Most tortoises, like their beak is like flat, is smooth, but his top, you can see the top beak hangs over the bottom, is made for him to pick meat off of bones. So these guys like to eat meat.
Gotcha.
They're from like, well, you eat Burmese mountain tortoise. They're from Thailand.
From the Burma region.
Type of areas, yeah, Myanmar. Yeah. I love them. They're one of the most primitive species of tortoise. And like, it's crazy. Like his eyes are so cool looking. They're like greenish. Yeah, and he's so strong and like all these osteoderms. These are called osteoderms. That's like bone spurs coming out of their legs. Oh, wow. It's like alligators on their back. They have osteoderms and stuff. That's what that is. I'm hoping this is a girl though. See that itty bitty tail right there? It's so small. It's smaller than the spurs.
So you can't tell yet?
No, it takes a long time for tortoises. And the bigger the full size of the tortoise, the bigger it needs to get before you can tell. This is Zeus. This is one of the first tortoises that we knew what it was because they don't get very big, so he might not even get much bigger than this. And you can see his big long tail.
That's a tail, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Zeus might show you his hemipenes. Yeah, this is called a cloaca. So like you can tell from the distance of their cloaca from their shell, males are gonna have a longer distance. The females are gonna have a smaller tail, and the cloaca's like up there closer. It's interesting.
So I see his beak is definitely flatter.
Yeah, for sure. And he only eats like, he's a grassland species. He would only eat like vegetation. We only feed him like flowers, grasses, and lettuce and things like that.
Gotcha.
Come up here.
Oh, that's perfect.
So this is Chandler. He's a yellow Aki monitor, and they're really awesome because like I have a big like Asian water monitor. It gets like 6 to 8 feet, but this guy only gets up to like 2 feet, so that's pretty cool. They're a dwarf species of monitor from Australia. His name's Chandler because one channel that I like called Chandler's Wildlife, that's the guy's name, Chandler, so I named him Chandler after him. But yeah, they're really cool. This guy over here is the same type of monitor. He's an Aki monitor. He's a red Aki. So there's like red and yellow. But his name's Steve after Steve Irwin.
The legend, rest in peace.
Yeah, a lot of people have Steves. Just like everybody has a Littlefoot, everybody has a Steve or something like that. This is an Aki monitor. So this is an Australian species of monitor. And they're a dwarf species. They're a lot smaller. So this one will only grow up to 2 feet. My Asian water monitor over there at Pacquiao, he can get 6 to 8 feet long if he's a male. These guys are fun because they're just as intelligent, just as fun, and you don't need a giant water thing for them because they're not water monitors, and they don't get as big. It's a species of, it's a family of lizards called Varanidae. It's like, there's like different species of varanids. So like he's Varanus acantharus. Like I have all of the species name and common names on the enclosures. Yeah, Fred's a canyon sand boa. They're really awesome. This was the first species of snake I got because they don't get very big. Males only get like 12 to 18 inches long, and they stay pretty skinny like this. And he's an albino paradox, so he's albino, but he's got these black paradox spots on him because albinos aren't supposed to produce melanin. But it's pretty awesome. Every time he sheds, he gets more and more. When I first got him, he only had a couple spots. I was like, oh, he's cool. Like I wish he had more spots though. But as every time he sheds and grows, he gets more and more spots. Yeah, I feel like most of my Kenyan sand boas are pretty chill, for the most part. I have a couple mean ones, but one I got from a pet store, so that was not the best place to get them. But these guys, I got them all from like one particular place. And they're pretty chill. They're pretty fun.
Oh,
I think as long as you treat them good, you know.
He's hugging me.
That's why I try not to make any mistakes. That's why I was like super careful about like you dropping them, cause
Yeah, no, for sure.
one of my other cranky ones is cranky just cause of that, a simple mistake. You know, I went to set him down. He slipped out of my hand and, you know, felt like I tossed him or something, and now he's cranky. Hey Paige, I know it's a weird way for me to take you out, but Rex would like to see you.
She is cute.
Yeah, she's beautiful. I love her. She's a baby. She's got a lot of growing to do. She's only a couple months old. Most snakes generally can live into their 20s. And yeah, like the Kenyan sand boas, I know of ones that are like 20 and 30 years old even. 30 might be exaggeration, but 20 for sure. Yeah, snakes live a while. You can see she's kind of nervous, so she's flattening herself out a little bit. I think cameras make them nervous, honestly, bro.
They don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's like a big eye staring at them.
It's God.
And like, it freaks them out. And like, one snake that I have, the only time I ever seen her strike at something was at a camera. Like someone was up close trying to take a picture and she struck at it. But this girl, these snakes, they're rear fang venomous. So like, they have like a mild type of venom that's mainly for like small rodent, or not rodents even, frogs. They mainly eat frogs in the wild. So like they'll sneak up on a frog and chew on it, and they'll like pump it with venom. And like frogs' defenses are to puff up, so like they end up popping themselves. The frog, yeah.
So rear fang venomous, like the...
Yeah, so they have like, instead of like a normal venomous snake will have like, you know, like the big fangs